Welcome back to another episode of our Partner Spotlight video series. My name is Chris Wheaton. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer here at Abyde, and I'm happy to share with you another great company that Abyde has partnered with, Staffless Practice. Joining me today, I have Dr. Jody Dinnerman. First off, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join me today, and if you don't mind, just kicking us off with a little bit about yourself and what Staffless Practice is.
Sure. Hi, and thanks for the opportunity and thanks for everything that you guys do at Abide. We're super grateful that we found you. I've been in practice I'm celebrating 25 years next month. I'm a pediatric and prenatal chiropractor here in New Jersey. And I was just going in circles trying to figure out how to manage a team and have the practice of my dreams, and I couldn't figure the recipe out. So I got really good at running a practice without staff. And I was very vocal about my process. And then the pandemic hit, and all of my friends came knocking on my door because they had all lost their staff overnight. So that was the birth of Staffless Practice. And since then, we've created a software program, 4 books, an online school, and it's really grown into its own thing. Quite a beautiful experience.
Wow, congrats on that. You're definitely a problem solver, huh?
Definitely, I like finding the problem and then putting a solution in front of it for sure.
Love that. Love partnering with industry leading companies, thought leaders like yourself. So really appreciate your time today. First question is, what is
Sure.
the biggest misconception people have about running a wellness practice?
Yeah. So my biggest conception for over 2 decades was that I needed people to be doing all of the things when I didn't really recognize that most of them could be managed by systems. And then there are very specific roles or pieces of practice that really do need the human connection. And we would what I would try to do is put someone that I liked because they were cool or it was someone I'd want to go shopping with at in this role when they had no skills to be there. So the biggest misconception is we need to throw another person in the mix to solve the problem when most of the problems of practice are system needs. And when they are a person to person need, having the right person with the right skill set match that need.
I love that take. Can you share a specific example of how automation has transformed a customer's practice or your own?
Oh yeah. So over this summer, in the summer of 2024, we developed a software program called the Practice Suite. And the concept is to have all of the places that you look to connect, nurture, communicate with a practice member before, during, and after visit one on one screen. So whether they find you on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or LinkedIn, or they call you or they fax you or they text you, whatever it is, it all goes to one place and then it's templated with one-click solutions. The biggest piece to that is what we call a missed call text back. So we find people come to us stressed out most about the phone, and we have a whole training on what to do with the phone. And we actually train our doctors that we work with to not answer the phone anymore. In
Wow.
fact, get rid of the phone altogether. And what we have in place is an automation called a missed call text back. So if somebody calls the office, you're intentionally not answering the phone. They're receiving a voicemail message called the voicemail message funnel that directs the caller, depending on what kind of caller is called their practice, to one click away from getting the solution they need. For example, if they're a new practice member looking to schedule their first visit, go to the website. If they're a current practice member with an admin or scheduling need, text us now.
Mm.
And then the automation that kicks in is if the phone's not answered, that person will automatically get a text sent to them saying, my text will say something like, I have a sense of humor about it. Hey, it's Dr. Jody. I see that you're calling me in a not so creepy way. I wanted to just let you know here, texting me is the best way to get me. How can we help? And everybody responds to that except for spammers. If it's a spam call, my time's not wasted.
Wow.
If it's a practice member, and my practice members know not to call because I don't have an office phone, they are all trained to text. And That's truly what they want. They don't want to call the office and hear what a great day it is and uh, have the stories and the whole thing. They just want to text because we're just the chiropractor. They want to do a 3-second text saying, "Can I come on Thursday at 4 instead of 4:30?" They don't want to have a conversation about it because they're busy, and so are you.
I mean, kind of speaking to that stress, what advice would you give someone who's feeling burnt out in their practice?
Yeah, if you're not having fun, course correct. Find a way to pivot. Go spend a day. This is my greatest piece of advice. Go spend a day with somebody who's completely miserable in practice. Don't tell them that that's why you're spending the day with them. Go watch them for a day and find the pieces
Mm,
that you're doing too. And there's your list of what needs to be changed. And then go spend a day with somebody who is completely lit up by their practice. I go to my office and I'm like, all I have to do right now is adjust babies. This is awesome.
wow.
And there are people down the street who are miserable. So if I ever need a gratitude shot, all I need to do is go spend the day or go even get adjusted by the person who's miserable, watch what they're doing and do the opposite. The other thing that I want to say is I think that, we've got all of these opportunities for continued education. Go to the continued education seminars where people are lit up and super excited about being in practice. That fills my cup. I have
Mm,
certain events that I never miss, more for my sanity to know that there are people out there who love what we do as much as I do. So I think that people are infectious and they can infect you in the wrong way and they can infect you in the right way. So watch who you're spending your time with and learn from them, whether it's they're lifting you up or they're bringing you down. One of the two is going to happen. It's very rarely neutral. Abide is a good example of that. You guys deal with HIPAA and regulating secure transactions with practice members. That's not exciting. But the
no.
people at your company love, you guys are all drinking the same Kool-Aid and you make it look cool. So that's why we love partnering with a company like yours. How you do anything is how you do everything. So whether it's your bookkeeper or the person who cleans your tables, or I mean, your front desk person or your associate, if they are not dripping joy, it's contagious.
Mm. Yeah, we do what we do. We want to have fun, we want to make a difference, and we want to kind of flip compliance on its head, right? So, and I think you're doing the same thing with your business and with your practice. What are some common misconceptions people make when they're trying to implement staffless systems?
Yeah, staffless doesn't mean no staff. It means less staff doing what's not the best use of their time. So the irony is that as I sit here, I have 16 people on my team.
Mm.
And hands down, it's the hardest part of what we're doing is managing a team. It's hard. So I think the most common misconception is that you have to do it alone.
Mm.
There's nothing wrong with delegating the stuff that you don't love. So there's a book called Who Not How, and in that book, um, it's the manuscript of having the right people in the right lanes. So if you're a small practice and there are parts of it that you just hate doing, have somebody who could run circles around you with those pieces, do just those things. Um, Other misconceptions is that you have to do like stuff that doesn't bring joy to you day in and day out. There are many years in practice where I did things in my office that they just felt like a drag. So what are the pieces that I no longer enjoy? And as I aged and like, I started practice when I was in my early 30s. I'm in my early 50s now. What brings me joy now is a little bit different than what brought me joy when I was in my early 30s. So have a consistent check-in on, are these systems still serving what do I want from my practice? Our practice is a reflection of who we are in the world. That's another truth. So I would say regular check-ins on the way that we're doing the things that we do, because we can certainly lose sight of the forest from the trees. Have a really strong mentor, whether it's a chiropractic mentor, a spiritual mentor, a fitness mentor. I would be remiss to not talk about CrossFit when I'm in an interview. I do CrossFit 4 or 5 times a week because it's the perfect example of go do the thing that's really hard because at the end of it, there's such a reward. And if I can do that physically, I'm certainly going to make healthier choices when I leave the gym, So find your thing that's going to keep you connected to the rhythms that you need to make the world go round as a practitioner, a chiropractor, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever label is on your door.
Kind of goes right into my next question is how can practitioners balance the desire to serve more people with the need for self-care and work-life balance?
Yeah. Know your signals of burnout.
Hmm.
For, get adjusted regularly. Be a patient.
Mm,
Like go to somebody's office and pay them money regularly to get adjusted.
yeah.
Whether it's you're paying them money or there's another exchange that you guys have, be a patient who's in fair exchange. There's so much out of balance with fair exchange in our profession. I don't know what that's all about. But if I go to my chiropractor and I'm in fair exchange, I either pay him or give something to him of the value of what I ask for an adjustment. It keeps my nerve system in floating,
Yeah.
right? Know your signs of burnout. So for me, I get clumsy, I lose my words, I get cranky, I react a lot more than I respond. And again, this took years to learn. And I have to know when I need to pivot and just take a pause. And that's probably, you can't learn that by reading something. You have to learn that by experience. And when I was in clinic, I was like the person in clinic in school where I had no problem getting people. My schedule was full all the time. I was a yoga teacher in town. I had no problem getting patients, to my office. And the doctors out in the field would say it takes 5 years to trust your hands. It takes 5 years to really get to know what you're doing in practice. And I would be like, watch me do it in two, right?
That's awesome.
It really took probably seven.
Okay.
It take having the humility to know that I don't know anything.
Mm,
And I think I spent the first few years of practice thinking I knew, and then a few years really lost, feeling like I don't know anything. And then being okay with not knowing anything. And here I am, full circle, 25 years in, feeling like I kind of know. Um, and I'm okay with not I'll let you know when it comes to compliance. I don't need to know everything.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
know what to do when my hands are on somebody's spine.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind. Let me just add this. I had a practice member bring in their 3-month-old baby this week, and the baby couldn't extend its arms past this. Like I would try to lift the arms and they wouldn't lift. And the mom was freaked out, like a chiropractor on my baby. And I looked at her and I said to her, I've adjusted over 250,000 people in the past 25 years. I've never hurt anybody. I promise you, your baby is not going to be the first. Right. And if your baby is the first and we're having this conversation, we should go play the lottery. Right. So know what you're really good at and highlight that when it needs to be highlighted. And for Pete's sake, have the humility to know what you suck at and know where to find the answers to get better at it.
And I really appreciate that. That's a great end to the spotlight. But I think the last thing we need to ask is how do we get in touch with you?
Sure. Anywhere you look, Staffless Practice, we're on Instagram. GoStaffless.com is our website. ThePracticeSuite.com is our software program. And I'm always happy to jump on a call and take a listen to what's going on.
Awesome. And you'll be able to find Staffless on the abide.com/partner page. We're getting that uploaded here shortly. But Dr. Jody, I want to thank you for your time, insight today. I mean, ultimately your wisdom. I thought that was an incredible way to have a spotlight on one of our valued partners. I'm excited for Abide customers and future customers to learn more about Staffless and how they can continue to run efficient and profitable practices and ultimately fulfill their cups, right? Have a great
Yes.
day, and
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate your time.
Me too. Thanks so much.
Thanks.